Have you ever found yourself constantly questioning your worth in a relationship? Wondering if you're enough, if you're too much, or if you're slowly losing yourself just trying to keep someone's attention? Here's a truth that can change the way you see love forever. The right man will never make you feel like you have to compete for your place in his life. Real love doesn't create insecurity, it creates peace, safety, and confidence. When you're with the wrong person, you spend your energy analyzing texts, overthinking silences, and trying to decode mixed signals. But when you're with the right person, something powerful happens. You stop doubting yourself and start feeling secure in who you are. Let's talk about 3 powerful reasons why the right man will never make you feel insecure. Point 1, the right man chooses you clearly, not confusingly. One of the biggest reasons people feel insecure in relationships is not because they lack value, but because they are dealing with someone who creates confusion instead of clarity. When someone truly wants you, their behavior has a certain steadiness to it. It has a sense of direction. You don't feel like you are constantly trying to interpret what their silence means or why their energy suddenly changed. Instead, you feel a quiet confidence that comes from knowing where you stand. Think about how often insecurity is born from mixed signals. One day, someone is incredibly attentive, texting you, calling you, making plans, showing excitement about seeing you. The next day, they become distant, slow to reply, emotionally unavailable, or vague about their intentions. That inconsistency can create a storm inside your mind. Suddenly, you begin asking yourself questions you never asked before. Did I say something wrong? Did I push too much? Are they losing interest? Should I pull back? Should I try harder? This is the exhausting cycle that so many people fall into. And the longer it continues, the more it chips away at your confidence, not because you're weak, but because the human mind naturally tries to find meaning in inconsistency. When someone's behavior doesn't line up, your brain starts working overtime, trying to solve the puzzle. But here is the truth that changes everything. The right man does not make you solve puzzles about his feelings. When someone genuinely values you, their interest doesn't appear in brief flashes that leave you confused. It shows up in a consistent pattern of behavior. You see it in the way they communicate. You see it in the effort they make to stay connected. You see it in the way they follow through on what they say. And most importantly, you see it in the clarity they bring into your life. Clarity is one of the most underrated forms of respect in a relationship. When someone is clear with you about how they feel and what they want, they remove the emotional guessing game that causes insecurity. You are not left wondering if you are important to them. You don't feel like you're trying to prove your worth every day. Instead, you feel grounded because their actions consistently show that you matter. And that consistency is powerful, not because it is dramatic or overwhelming, but because it is reliable. Many people confuse excitement with emotional stability. They believe that the intensity of unpredictable behavior means the connection is passionate or special. But in reality, unpredictability often creates emotional anxiety, not love. When someone's behavior swings between affection and distance, it keeps you emotionally on edge. And over time, that edge becomes a place where insecurity grows. The right man does not build a connection on emotional roller coasters. He builds it on steadiness. This means that when he says he wants to see you, he actually makes the effort to see you. When he says he will call, he follows through. When he expresses interest in building something meaningful, his actions reflect that intention. There is a natural alignment between what he says and what he does. That alignment creates something incredibly valuable in a relationship. Trust. Trust is not built from grand promises or dramatic declarations. It grows from small, repeated moments of reliability. Each time someone shows up the way they said they would, your mind begins to relax. Each time their behavior matches their words, your confidence in the connection grows. And as that trust develops, something interesting happens inside you. You stop feeling the need to monitor every little change in their tone or response time. You stop analyzing every text message for hidden meaning. The energy you once spent worrying about the relationship becomes energy you can invest in enjoying it. That is the emotional freedom that clarity creates. When someone truly chooses you, their behavior reflects that choice. They don't make you compete for their attention or feel like you are constantly auditioning for a role in their life. Instead, they make space for you in a way that feels natural and intentional. This doesn't mean every moment will be perfect or that there will never be misunderstandings. Every relationship has moments of tension, busy schedules, or difficult conversations. But the difference with the right person is that those moments do not create ongoing confusion about their commitment or feelings. Even during challenges, their respect and interest remain visible. And this is where many people experience a powerful shift perspective. They begin to realize that the insecurity they felt in past relationships was not necessarily a reflection of their own worth. Often it was the result of being connected to someone who lacked clarity about what they wanted. When someone is unsure about you, they tend to send signals that reflect that uncertainty. Their effort fluctuates, their communication becomes inconsistent, their intentions remain vague. And the longer you stay in that dynamic, the more you start questioning yourself. But the right man does not approach love from a place of hesitation and ambiguity. When he recognizes someone he genuinely values, he leans into that connection rather than keeping it at a distance. He does not treat your presence in his life as something optional or temporary. He treats it as something meaningful. And that meaning shows up in simple but powerful ways. He includes you in plans. He makes time to talk. He remembers the things that matter to you. He pays attention to how his actions affect you. These behaviors may not always be dramatic, but they send a very clear message. You are important to him. That message alone can transform how you feel in the relationship. Instead of wondering whether you are valued, you begin to experience the security that comes from being appreciated. Instead of constantly protecting yourself from disappointment, you begin to relax into the connection. Instead of overthinking every interaction, you begin to trust the flow of the relationship. And that sense of security is not something you have to force or demand. It grows naturally when you are with someone who communicates their interest through consistent actions. Another important part of clarity is honesty about intentions. The right man does not lead you forward while secretly keeping his options open or avoiding commitment. If he sees a future with you, he communicates that direction. If he is serious about building something meaningful, his behavior aligns with that seriousness. This level of honesty protects both people in the relationship. It prevents emotional confusion. It prevents false expectations. And it allows both individuals to invest their time and energy with confidence. Insecure relationships often involve one person chasing clarity that never fully arrives. They hope that if they are patient enough, loving enough, or understanding enough, the other person will eventually become certain. But love should not feel like a constant attempt to earn someone's decision. Real connection happens when both people are willingly choosing each other. The right man understands that your time, your emotions, and your heart deserve respect. He doesn't keep you in a gray area where you are unsure of your role in his life. Instead, he brings definition to the relationship through his words and actions. And when that happens, something beautiful begins to grow between two people. The relationship becomes less about anxiety and more about partnership. Instead of feeling like you must prove your value, you begin to experience the comfort of being accepted. Instead of chasing attention, you receive it naturally. Instead of worrying about losing someone, you focus on building something meaningful together. That is the power of being chosen clearly. It removes the fog that often surrounds modern relationships and replaces it with understanding, respect, and emotional stability. And once you experience that kind of clarity, you start to realize how unnecessary the old confusion really was. You understand that love is not supposed to feel like a constant guessing game. It is supposed to feel like a steady connection where both people know they matter to each other. When someone truly chooses you, they don't make you question your place in their life. Their actions answer that question every day. And that simple, consistent choice is one of the strongest foundations a relationship can ever have. Point 2, the right man makes you feel safe being yourself. One of the most powerful experiences you can have in a relationship is the feeling that you can truly be yourself, not a filtered version of yourself, not a smaller, quieter, more careful version of who you are, but the real you with your personality, your emotions, your ideas, your humor, your passions, and even your imperfections. When you are with the right man, something remarkable happens you. Stop feeling like you have to perform in order to be loved. So many people walk into relationships carrying an invisible pressure, the pressure to say the right thing, to act the right way, to avoid showing too much emotion, to avoid seeming too needy, too sensitive, too opinionated, or too different. They begin monitoring themselves constantly, almost like they are on stage, worried that one wrong move might make the other person lose interest. This kind of pressure slowly creates insecurity, not because you lack confidence, but because you feel like you are constantly walking on emotional eggshells. You start asking yourself questions like, should I say this? Will this push him away? Am I being too much right now? And when those questions become a regular part of the relationship, it slowly erodes your sense of comfort. But the right man creates the exact opposite environment. Instead of making you feel like you must hide parts of yourself, he makes you feel safe enough to reveal them. When you speak your mind, he listens. When you laugh loudly, he enjoys your joy. When you express vulnerability, he responds with understanding rather than judgment. His presence becomes a place where you can breathe emotionally, rather than a place where you must constantly guard yourself. Emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations any relationship can have. Without it, people become cautious and defensive. They start protecting themselves instead of connecting with each other. But when emotional safety exists, both people feel free to open up, to be honest, and to grow together. The right man understands that a relationship should not feel like a test you must pass every day. He doesn't measure your worth by how perfectly you behave or how carefully you manage your personality. Instead, he appreciates the natural energy you bring into his life. Your quirks become things he finds charming rather than annoying. Your opinions become things he respects rather than challenges aggressively. Your emotions become something he tries to understand rather than dismiss. This doesn't mean he will agree with everything you say or do. Healthy relationships still include differences, debates, and disagreements. But even during those moments, there is a level of respect that remains constant. You don't feel belittled or dismissed simply for expressing yourself. And that respect allows you to remain authentic. Authenticity is incredibly powerful in a relationship. When two people can show up as their real selves, the connection becomes deeper and more meaningful. There are no masks, no constant attempts to impress each other, no fear that the truth will ruin everything. Instead, the relationship becomes a space where honesty and acceptance can exist together. Many people don't realize how much they have been shrinking themselves until they experience this kind of environment. In the wrong relationship, you might find yourself slowly changing your behavior just to avoid conflict or rejection. You may laugh less loudly, speak less freely, or hide certain feelings because you are afraid they will not be received well. Over time, those small adjustments begin to add up. You start losing touch with the parts of yourself that once felt natural and easy. But the right man doesn't create a relationship where you must shrink in order to fit. He creates one where you can expand. He encourages your voice rather than silencing it. He values your perspective even when it differs from his own. He respects your boundaries and understands that your individuality is not a threat to the relationship. It is part of what makes the connection interesting and alive. This kind of acceptance builds confidence in a very natural way. When someone appreciates you as you are, it reinforces the belief that you are worthy without needing to transform yourself into someone else. You begin to trust that the real version of you is enough, and that trust changes how you show up in the relationship. Instead of constantly analyzing yourself, you become more relaxed. Instead of fearing mistakes, you become more open. Instead of hiding your feelings, you become more honest about what matters to you. That honesty strengthens the connection between two people. It creates deeper conversations, stronger understanding, and a sense that both individuals are truly seen. Being seen is something every person quietly desires. We all want to feel that someone understands us beyond the surface level. We want to feel that our thoughts, emotions, and experiences matter to someone else. The right man does not shy away from that depth. He doesn't only enjoy the easy, fun moments of the relationship. He also values the deeper parts of who you are, the parts that involve vulnerability, reflection, and growth. When you share something personal or emotional, he doesn't make you feel dramatic or weak. Instead, he recognizes that vulnerability requires courage. He listens with patience and responds with care. This creates a powerful cycle of trust. The more safe you feel, the more open you become. The more open you become, the stronger the connection grows. And over time, that connection becomes something incredibly stable. In relationships where emotional safety is missing, People often feel like they are constantly trying to protect themselves from potential rejection. They may hold back their feelings, avoid difficult conversations, or pretend everything is fine even when it isn't. But those unspoken emotions eventually build pressure. When people cannot express themselves freely, resentment and frustration slowly grow beneath the surface. The right man does not create that environment. Instead, he creates a relationship where communication feels possible rather than dangerous. You know that if something bothers you, you can speak about it without fear of being ignored or attacked. That openness allows problems to be solved instead of buried. Another important aspect of feeling safe being yourself is knowing that your individuality will not be threatened. The right man does not try to control your personality, your friendships, or your ambitions. He does not see your independence as something that competes with the relationship. Instead, he respects that you are a complete person with your own life, goals, and identity. He supports the things that make you feel alive, your passions, your interests, your dreams. He celebrates your growth rather than feeling intimidated by it. When someone truly cares about you, they do not want to limit your potential. They want to see you flourish. This support creates a partnership where both people feel encouraged to become the best versions of themselves. Instead of holding each other back, they lift each other forward. And this is where insecurity begins to disappear. Insecurity often grows in environments where people feel judged, criticized, or controlled. But when you are with someone who respects your individuality and values your authentic self, those fears lose their power. You stop worrying about whether you are too emotional, too passionate, or too expressive. You stop second-guessing your natural reactions. Instead, you begin to embrace the parts of yourself that make you unique. And when two people can do that together, the relationship becomes incredibly strong. Because the connection is not built on pretending to be perfect. It is built on accepting each other as human beings with strengths, flaws, dreams, and emotions. The right man understands that love is not about changing someone into an ideal image. It is about appreciating the person who is already there. He does not look at your individuality as something that must be fixed. He sees it as something that adds color, depth, and meaning to the relationship. And when you feel that level of acceptance, something powerful happens inside you. You stop trying to earn love. You stop trying to prove your worth. You simply allow yourself to exist fully within relationship. That freedom creates a sense of peace that many people have never experienced before. The relationship feels calm rather than tense. Conversations feel natural rather than forced. Your presence feels valued rather than tolerated. And in that kind of environment, love grows stronger every day. Because when someone makes you feel safe being yourself, they are giving you one of the greatest gifts any partner can offer, the freedom to be real. Point 3, the right man builds your confidence instead of breaking it. One of the clearest signs that you are with the right man is the way you feel about yourself when you are around him. A healthy relationship has the power to strengthen your confidence, not slowly tear it down. When someone truly cares about you, their presence in your life becomes a source of encouragement, support, and belief in who you are. Instead of making you question your worth, they remind you of it in ways that feel genuine and natural. Confidence in a relationship does not come from constant praise or dramatic gestures. It grows quietly through the way someone treats you every day. It grows through respect, through appreciation, and through the small moments where you feel seen and valued. When you are with the wrong person, the opposite often happens. Their words or actions slowly chip away at your confidence. Sometimes it is obvious criticism. Sometimes it is subtle comparisons. Other times it is dismissive behavior that makes you feel like your thoughts, dreams, or emotions do not matter. Over time, those experiences can create a quiet doubt inside you. You may begin to feel like you are never quite enough. No matter how much effort you put into the relationship, it seems like something is always missing in their eyes. Instead of feeling supported, you feel judged. Instead of feeling appreciated, you feel evaluated. That environment can be deeply exhausting. It creates a constant pressure to prove yourself. You might find yourself trying harder and harder to gain approval, hoping that if you say the right things or behave the right way, the relationship will finally feel secure. But the right man does not create a relationship where you are constantly trying to earn validation. He builds a connection where your value is recognized without you having to fight for it. One of the most powerful things the right partner does is acknowledge your strengths. He notices the qualities that make you special, whether it is your kindness, your intelligence, your sense of humor, your determination, or the way you care about others. And he does not keep those observations to himself. He expresses them openly. These moments of appreciation might seem simple, but they carry enormous emotional weight. When someone genuinely recognizes the good in you, it reinforces the belief that who you are truly matters. But support goes deeper than compliments. The right man also stands beside you when you are pursuing your goals, ambitions. He understands that your dreams are an important part of who you are, and he wants to see you succeed. When you talk about something you are passionate about, he listens with interest rather than indifference. When you face challenges or setbacks, he offers encouragement instead of doubt. He believes in your ability to overcome obstacles, even during moments when you might feel uncertain about yourself. This kind of support can have a powerful effect on your confidence. Knowing that someone believes in you creates a sense of strength that is difficult to describe. It reminds you that you are capable of more than you sometimes realize. The right man does not feel threatened by your growth or success. Instead, he celebrates it. He understands that your achievements are not something that takes away from the relationship. They are something that enriches it. In unhealthy relationships, insecurity often shows up as competition. One partner may feel uncomfortable when the other grows, improves, or becomes more successful. Instead of encouragement, they respond with subtle negativity, jealousy, or criticism. But a healthy relationship is not a competition. It is a partnership. The right man recognizes that when you become stronger, more confident, and more fulfilled, the relationship becomes stronger as well. Your happiness adds energy and positivity to the connection you share. Another important way the right man builds your confidence is through the way he handles your vulnerabilities. Every person has moments of doubt, fear, or insecurity. These moments are part of being human. What matters is how the person beside you responds when those emotions appear. The wrong person might dismiss your feelings or use them against you. They might make you feel dramatic for expressing your concerns, or they might ignore your emotional needs entirely. These reactions can make you feel even more insecure and alone, but the right man responds with patience, understanding. When you share something that makes you feel vulnerable, he does not use it as an opportunity to criticize or control you. Instead, he listens. He tries to understand what you are experiencing rather than immediately judging it. His response shows that your feelings are valid and that your emotional well-being matters to him. This kind of emotional support helps create a safe environment where you can be honest about your struggles. And when someone stands beside you during those moments, it strengthens your confidence in a deeper way than surface-level compliments ever could. Another powerful aspect of confidence building in a healthy relationship is encouragement during personal growth. The right man does not expect you to remain the same person forever. He understands that people evolve over time, learning new things, discovering new passions, and developing new perspectives. Instead of resisting that change, he encourages it. If you want to learn a new skill, supports your effort. If you want to take on a new challenge, he motivates you to try. If you want to step outside your comfort zone, he reminds you that you are capable of more than you think. His belief in your potential becomes a source of motivation. And over time, this encouragement helps you develop a stronger sense of self. You begin to trust your own abilities more. You become more willing to take risks and pursue opportunities. The relationship becomes a place that fuels your growth rather than limiting it. The right man also understands the importance of respect in building confidence. Respect is not just about polite behavior. It is about recognizing the value of someone's voice, choices, and boundaries. When he respects you, he listens to your opinions even when they differ from his own. He takes your concerns seriously. He acknowledges your right to make decisions about your own life. This respect reinforces the idea that you are an equal partner in the relationship. Your thoughts matter. Your experiences matter. Your perspective matters. Feeling respected has a profound effect on self-esteem. It creates a sense of dignity and self-assurance that cannot exist in relationships where one person constantly feels ignored or controlled. Another subtle but important way the right man builds your confidence is by being proud of you. He does not hide the relationship or treat you like an afterthought in his life. He speaks about you with appreciation. He introduces you to people who matter to him. He includes you in his world. These actions send a clear message. He values having you in his life. That sense of pride can strengthen your confidence in ways that are often overlooked. It reassures you that you are not just tolerated, you are appreciated and respected. Over time, all of these behaviors create a powerful emotional environment. Instead of constantly worrying about losing someone, you begin to feel secure in the connection. Instead of questioning your value, you feel confident in who you are. And something remarkable happens when you experience this kind of relationship. You start becoming a stronger version of yourself. You become more confident in expressing your ideas. You become more comfortable pursuing your goals. You become more resilient when facing challenges. This growth does not happen because the other person is controlling or shaping you. It happens because their support gives you the freedom to discover your own strength. The right man does not try to change who you are at your core. He recognizes the greatness that already exists within you and helps bring it to the surface. He reminds you that your voice deserves to be heard. He reminds you that your dreams deserve to be pursued. He reminds you that your presence in the world has value. And when someone consistently treats you with that level of belief and encouragement, your confidence begins to flourish naturally. You stop measuring your worth through someone else's approval. Instead, you start recognizing your own strength and potential. That is the true power of a healthy relationship. It does not take away your independence or your identity. It strengthens them. And when two people support each other in that way, lifting each other higher rather than pulling each other down, the relationship becomes more than just a connection between two individuals. It becomes a partnership where both people grow, thrive, and become the best versions of themselves together.